Okay, I think we're live. It says
I think
recording.
so.
All right,
I
guys.
think so. Cool. Here
Thumbs
we
up.
are back to
Uh,
the virtual podcast.
yeah, we're doing it again on Zoom. This is awesome.
Yep.
So this is episode number 27. Start your day with gratitude. What you focus on expands.
Yeah.
You
This is a
excited,
good
Jeff?
one. Yeah,
This is
I'm,
gonna
I'm
be,
very excited.
this is gonna be awesome. So when the day is started in a mindset of gratitude, happiness comes easy, and you are reminded of all the blessings you have. It's a good start to the podcast.
Yep,
And
I agree.
um, your 1,000-year-old brain, it's tens of thousands of years old, is wired to find the negative to, and to protect you from bad situations. That's just the way your brain is wired, right?
Yeah.
It's up to you to actually rewire it. Activate the RAS, otherwise known as the reticular activating system, and create a habit of being grateful. What you focus on expands.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny when you say your 1,000-year-old brain, it's like the primitive side of us,
Right.
right? When we're
Yep.
hunter and gatherers, you know?
Right.
So
Watching out
pretty,
for, things that are coming our way, animals that might be stalking us, those kind of things.
yeah, I think it's wild. And we have to trick our brain. Uh, Speaking of our brain tricking us, really is, I mean, have you ever purchased a new car, phone, or maybe a purse? And in the days and weeks leading up to that purchase, I mean, reflect back on that. What do you remember seeing everywhere you went? That car, that purse, that blue car. Uh, Maybe it was a certain make and model. I bet you notice all of those cars on the road that were the car that you wanted, and it's
Hmm.
no coincidence. That is your RAS at work.
Correct. That's probably, one of the best analogies that you could have picked for that. And it's really awesome, because it's true. You see exactly what you were looking for, what you went to the car lot to buy or whatever, or that watch or whatever. So on average, a person makes about 35,000 decisions a day.
That's
And you
crazy.
can you can actually Google that. That's where I found the information from to make sure I was correct, because I know it was somewhere between 30 and 40. Without the RAS, reticular activating system, I'm pretty sure you would be very overwhelmed with all those decisions. So it actually filter those for you, and it'll gets rid of the ones that aren't, I guess, you know prevalent or important, right? And it brings to mind and brings to the top of the list the
Mhm.
ones that are, right.
Yeah, yeah.
It
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, it essentially helps you focus on those, right? So you can
Yeah.
feed your brain the correct information.
Yep. It's like your RAS is prioritizing those
Right.
decisions that you need to make,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, people who are regularly practice gratitude uh, by making time to notice and reflect upon the things that they're grateful for experience more positive emotions. I'm sorry, they experience more positive emotions. They feel more alive. They sleep better, express more compassion and kindness, and even have a stronger immune system. So by practicing gratitude, I mean, it makes you a more healthy person
Hmm.
in mind.
Right. So starting off the day with gratitude can change your entire perspective on decisions you make, reactions, how you respond to things, and just your overall happiness, as Jeff just said. So adopting a morning gratitude practice can hugely make a difference in your overall mood and outlook on your life and your entire day. I practice this every morning with all of my children. We keep a daily journal, where we write down the first thing every morning. First thing every morning, we write down 3 things that we're grateful for. And if you follow us on social media, you would have saw my daughter on there doing hers this morning, little Haley. She's 9, and she's been doing it for almost a year now. Well,
I
all
do
of my
see that.
kids have, but I just happened to take a picture of her this morning.
I mean, I think that's awesome that you do that, Joe. I actually just started doing that with Amanda and her kids at dinner time before we start eating. We'll do what we're thankful for, and even like telling like, "Hey, Joe, I'm thankful for you being my business partner." You know what they're grateful about that person.
Right.
It does give them a very positive mindset. So it's awesome that you're doing that. Um, it's easiest to build and maintain a grateful mindset when you physically write them down. Uh, keep a journal also let you know I'm sorry keeping a journal also lets you know or look back on your past entries, which can be helpful in your personal development. You might not be able to remember, or you might not be sure what to write at first, and that's perfectly fine. Just write down the first thing that comes to mind. There's really no rules when you're practicing gratefulness.
Yeah, I mean, I like the part where you said, so you can look back and reflect on it. I mean, it's always good to kind of look back and just see. I find it fun to look back and see what my kids have written, two,
Yeah.
3 days, because I don't review them every day, but it's neat to see what they find thankful for,
Do
what
you
they're grateful for. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Do you, now that you look over the past entries and seeing what they are now, do you see that grow into maybe more meaningful, thankful for us?
Yeah, I mean, definitely sometimes, and then sometimes it's video games or,
Sure. Right.
chocolate ice cream because we had it for
Yeah.
dinner or something, so they were grateful for it that night before. So it's
Yeah.
neat to see what they write down. And it also opens your eyes up to, wow, they were thankful to get outside that day, or for
Yeah.
dad helping them with math, or mom helping them with writing or reading. So
That's
it's really
amazing.
neat to see those things. Um, it's good for us as well, right?
Yep. Also
So
mindset.
going back to, you don't really, there's no rules for doing this. It does take a while to cultivate the mentality of being grateful. If you're stuck in a negative mindset for a while, it could take weeks, if not months, to unlearn that mindset. Commit to writing a journal frequently and try not to miss days if you can help it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you could consider forming a new habit with this. First thing in the morning, grab your journal, write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. Start that 66-day challenge that Joe and I have talked about all the time. That will help you form that new habit. Keep the calendar log sheet near the journal. Make off the consecutive day, or I'm sorry, mark off the consecutive day that you're completing that new habit.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Starting and maintaining a gratitude practice is simple, although not always easy, right? I agree with Jeff when creating a habit, I guess, to form around that, creating a healthy habit. It does help make up who we are as individuals, right? We actually recently did a show on um, that, specifically on how to form a habit, I guess,
Yeah.
is kind of what I was getting at. So you can go back and look at that one, so we don't have to go too far into that, but creating that successful and good habit around the gratitude journal would help.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, maybe we'll tag that in the podcast notes here if they want to go.
Yeah, on YouTube, I can definitely just have that video play right after.
Cool.
But on the podcast, it should be, I think, the one or two before this. And I'll
Okay.
see if I can tag it in there.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's been said in many different ways. Whatever you focus on expands. Uh, what I say is whatever you focus on is what you get, either negative or positive. So focus on the positive, and you'll bring more positivity in your life. Right?
Yeah, and I think what is it? The founder of Ford, right? Ford Motor
Yeah.
Company, Henry
Henry
Ford, I
Ford.
think it was. He says, whether you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you're correct. So, I mean, you could feed your brain either negative or positive, and then whatever your brain just, would it just mirrors and mimics what you're putting in it, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so basically, I believe that if we use enough focus, right, that we can achieve almost anything. Thinking back, you know, I guess reflect for yourselves as listeners, a time that you were really, really, really focused. If you can think of that time right now, look at how much you accomplished. Things just kind of seem to fall into place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And especially right now, this is a good time to start
Hmm.
writing down that journal. So start that new habit, create a gratitude journal, write down your affirmations. We know what we feed our brains is what we believe.
Yeah, that's a good one. What we attract, what we attract essentially what we give our energy to. Obviously, I think that can be shown throughout any part or of your life. You manifest what you desire. So if you're thinking about, getting that job and you pour everything into it, you've most likely got the job, right? What you focus on expands. If you're thinking about a new black truck or a new blue car and you see them everywhere. And what are essentially my question for you today is, what are you going to choose to focus on? Hopefully it's the good, right?
Mhm.
Not saying we're going to dismiss the bad parts, not saying we're going to dismiss what's happening around us. We're saying, what are you choosing to focus on? Because that part is going to expand. So if we can focus on being grateful, that would be amazing in today, what's
Yeah,
going on, right?
I agree 100%.
Um, So make sure you follow us on social media, whichever way you're consuming this, whether you're reading the written word or watching us or listening to us. Subscribe so you can receive new alerts when new content is released. Share our content with someone that you think could use it. That would be really beneficial for anybody. It could even be like a, hey, I thought this would be amazing for you, or hey, look what these two guys are doing with their kids, kind of thing. Maybe we should try it, watch the video or listen to the podcast. And we always hope that we did impact your day in a positive way and that you find value in everything that we bring to you. Until next time.
Later, everybody.